this adventure. I'm on the Kitimat River this week with my good buddy, Ron Wakita from City Center Hardware. We're doing some steelheading, and stick around, it's going to be a cold one.
Scott Brothers Fishing Adventures is sponsored in part by Abu Garcia for life. Berkeley, catch more fish. Fenwick, feel the action. Gibbs, quality Canadian tackle since 1908. Shimano, technology you can feel. Storm Lures, take the big ones by storm. Home Hardware, we're making smiles. Osprey, waders and float tubes. Sage, the world's premium fly rod. Scientific Anglers, focused on function. Normark, the tradition continues. Sports Max, the fastest house on the ice. Blue Fox, fish smart. Rapella, the original Finnish minnow. Need Enterprises, your recreation specialists. Gamakatsu, the world's finest hooks.
On this week's show, I'm fortunate enough to fish with one of the most experienced and compassionate fishermen I've ever met. Meet Ron Wakita, the proud dad who passes on the knowledge traditionally from father to son. Here, Ron fine-tunes Brandon on float placement and water depth. As the years grow, Brandon will undoubtedly carry his bond as Ron's father did to his future generation. As we test the waters, the three of us prepare for the lengthy morning drift downriver. It looked like a pretty silver fish there, Ron.
I didn't see it come out the first time, but just put it on the beach and we'll take a good look.
Yeah, right.
Bring it right in here and we'll take a good look.
Nice to see some beautiful dots, and as you know, they are a sea run rainbow trout. Just beautiful steelhead. You got that camera wrong, so I sure like to see a picture of this thing.
You bet.
She's coming in though, bud.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it took a little while, eh? We got a little bit of overcast sky, a little bit of wind at our back, and we thought we'd give it a drift, and, well, it's been slow morning on.
Well, we were behind a few other boats, so...
yeah, well, we got a bit of a late start.
That's right.
And that is very crucial up here on this river. The ideal thing is to get out there at the crack of dawn and be the first one. To the spot. Looks like a buck, Ron. He's got a bit of color to him. Yeah. Oh no, it's a doe. Beautiful doe. There she is. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna come in nice and slow.
It's gonna...
I don't think she's gonna be ready yet, though.
No, she's still hot. She's still hot. You just put in a couple inches of water.
I'll take my time.
Yeah, you got.
Oh no, she's wild.
She's wild, yeah. Leave her sideways. Leave her sideways. There you go.
There she is. Oh, lovely fish, buddy. Nice wild, lovely fish, eh?
Yes.
Oh no.
A little bit of color.
line here, no.
Okay.
Beautiful fish.
You want me to release it?
Yeah, you go ahead, Ron. You're doing a good job there. Maybe we want to get a picture before we let her go?
Yeah, you may.
Okay, let me just get in there.
Scale.
Can I just
keep her in the water? Yeah.
We want to keep the protective slime on. Okay, ready? You say one on hoister.
Okay, on three?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There she is. Okay. Well, hey, folks, that's the kind of fishing you're going to see up here in Kitimat. Hooking up with Ron here from the City Center Hardware. Beautiful steelhead.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Finally.
That's
Hey,
right.
and thank my
Boondogging.
wife for that one because she hooked onto a great fish.
Boondogging.
Yes, sir. Well, let's get on, buddy.
You bet.
Perfect. Right on. I was just going to say, I'm starting to daydream there, you know, I'm not looking, and you get to the point where, are we fishing this hole for fish or just practice? And I turned away for 1 second, and look at that fish, Ron.
And I didn't
going
see your
down,
phone,
eh?
so I'm saying...
I got to come down with the fish, bud.
Float down.
I'm gonna move down.
You keep an eye on that fish. If we need to boat, we can...
Yeah. You're getting some line on me now.
I think
I gotta move quick. Got a lot of power on me. Got a lot of steam on me. Yeah, I just about fell asleep at the switch there, folks. I wasn't quite on the ball. I guess Ron's going back for the boat now, but I've got a handle on it, looks like now. It's okay, Ron. I think we've got her now. She's coming in. Looks like a nice silver doe again. Wow. You know, these Fenwick rods, the HMX, they really handle these fish well. It's an extremely good combination. I'm using the Berkeley photochromic line and the Calcutta reel. And you know, with the HMX, it's such a good steelhead combination. Really nice. Well, okay, she's getting ready. She's not as big as the last one. Okay, come on back, Ron. She's not as big as the last one, but she's just about in now. I'm going to go catch to the tail, Ron. I'm going to back up a little bit.
Okay. Okay, we'll pop the hook here. Hey, Brandon.
Got her? Okay. Let's get that camera out again, Ron.
Okay.
See? That's down. I'll come around behind you here.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a pretty nice fish again. That one's a little bit thicker, eh? You got the hook out?
Take the line, yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Just falls right out of there. Nice. Good setup.
Okay.
Wild again, adipose fin.
Yeah.
Really nice steelhead, Ron.
Yeah.
You want to get a picture?
Sure, you bet. Just, you got her?
Okay, let's scoot around you. Okay.
Dip her in the water, you got it?
Got it. Okay, just change the sides. Okay. Okay. That way she's in the current. She's getting lots of water. Okay.
Just on three. Okay. 1, 2, 3, lift it.
Okay.
Snap the picture.
Hey, one thing about catch and release is you can always retain that moment. Still ahead, Ron and I drift with Yellowhead guides. Ron shares his float technique here on the Kitimat River. And stay with us for more Steelies. This segment of Scud Brothers Fishing Adventures is sponsored in part by Shimano, technology you can feel. Welcome back to Scud Brothers Fishing Adventures. Today I'm fishing with Ron Wakita from the City Center Hardware. Ron, tell us a little bit about the presentation we're using here this afternoon.
Okay, there's lots of different ways to fish for steelhead. We've chosen to float fish, but two different ways to float fish is to dead drift or to kind of bottom bounce with the float. What we're doing now is dead drifting. Gibbs were kind enough to make these floats specifically to dead drift in shallow water. Rigged similar to this with this is a 3/4 by 5-inch float. The traditional is 3/4 by 6 or 1 by 6.
These are quite light, eh?
Yes, and they also make them 3/4 by 4 for our store as well, and 1 by 4 and 1 by 5.
Now you say they make them for your store. What's the reason behind that, Ron?
Well, the Kitimat, what we've found is that the steelhead lie in such shallow water, you can kind of pattern out from the last rock that you can see, and you work a casting pattern looking for the fish, and definitely in shallow water. So these floats are designed to basically fish the water that the fish are in.
Right.
We're rigged here with a pencil lead on a surgical tube to 2 Jensen eggs and some white wool. In certain cases where it's low mercury, we use some roe.
Right.
But definitely these floats work, and we've got some fish
Well,
today with them.
we've done well already, and it's definitely paid off, and it's obviously a very good presentation. Hey, folks, this is my very first time I've actually capitalized float fishing, so it's worked well. A good guide. Well, let's get back out there and get in the shot.
You bet.
All right.
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
I think so. Due to cold weather, Brandon made his departure, and Ron and I pressed on. Well, it's getting late today, and boy, persistence pays off here for Ron.
All right. Oh, but it feels good now.
We've got conditions. I'd hate to even guess what the wind chill factor is right now, buddy. I'll have that camera. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I say, it is very late April, and
May 2nd.
is it May 2nd? Well, like I said, it was late April. So May 2nd is quite early. Oh yeah, nice fish. Oh yeah, she's nice. You don't want to rush her, Ron. You know the old scenario about between the legs. Oh, there she is. Oh, Ron, is that a nice fish? Adipose fin. Sea lice again. Look at that, Ron.
Same as yesterday.
So have a good look at that, folks. That's sea lice on that fish. And that means that this fish is not very long out of the ocean. And how far away from the ocean, Ron?
From here, probably 3-4 miles.
And look at that. That is an excellent fish, buddy. I'm going to get you a picture.
Okay.
Right on.
You bet.
You just take that away from me there. I'm going to get you. Got her?
Yeah, I got it.
Beautiful doe.
Water here. Awesome. She's a beautiful
Awesome fish.
You ready there?
You ready?
I'm just going to lift her and then put her right back in.
Okay, here we go. Yep.
This is a wild doe.
Isn't that just gorgeous?
Oh, she's a beautiful fish.
Well, turn out to some deep water, bud.
Okay.
Nice and silver. Excellent fish.
No.
Excellent fish. There she goes.
All right.
Oh, impressive. Impressive. Thank you very much. An incredible trip so far.
I'm just having as much fun as you are.
Right on. As dusk sets on the river, the diehards just can't quit.
Yep, fish on! Fish on! There's another one just to the guard here. It spooked another one. Another one shot this one splashed, another one shot up the street.
These are such a delicate species, you want to handle them properly, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you know, you can't really guarantee the fish a good mortality rate if you land it yourself. You never know, eh?
No, that's right. If there's two people doing it, you can leave the fish in a couple inches of water just to cushion if she starts
Just
to
to cushion
thrash.
the shock, right?
You bet. And
But I'm getting tired of tailing fish for you, Ron, okay?
well, it's kind of nice. That's part of fishing. Some days are
That's right.
you have a good day, and some days you're parting goods. But
Yeah.
the main thing is somebody's got the fish.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I don't think he's even supposed to do that.
Oh, she's got some...
Yeah, she was hard. I mean, she didn't do anything on the first on the hook set. She kind of just
Right? Well, the day is starting to come to a very slow close, and fishing is still being productive. We're going to actually... This is not as large or long as some of the ones we've seen, Ron, but you can still have a pretty good idea what she looks like. Okay. No, not quite. Not ready yet. No, I'm sorry. The glasses are all full of sand now, and hey, Ron. Okay, Ron. Here, stretch your
I'll
tape
just
out.
pop the hook out here. Oh, dear.
Some of those barbless hooks, they turn funny, eh?
Oh, yeah, she's got the line in
Okay,
it.
here, Ron. We can just
Okay,
go over later.
okay.
A quick measurement.
Okay.
Just to see, this is an average steelhead here. And she's 30 inches.
Oh, she's a nice fish.
All right. What an awesome fish. Hey, stay tuned, because when we return, Ron and I jump in with the experts, Yellowhead Guides. This segment of Scud Brothers Fishing Adventures is sponsored in part by Gibbs, quality Canadian tackle since 1908. In this segment, we introduce you to the guided trip. Yellowhead Fishing Guides is owned and operated by Barclay Manderson. On these trips, it's his job to put you into fish, and I might add, in any weather conditions. Drifting the river enables you to access good spots you couldn't walk to. It's a common sight to see Barclay straining at the oars, working particular holes back trolling plugs. Here, he sets us on a run, and Ron's got a fish on.
Exactly. The float in the boat, if they're in the same current, will float exactly the same speed.
Right, and this is what you were saying about the floats from Gibbs that you had specially made.
That's right.
Designed to stay with that current, and in the shallow water too, eh?
For the dead drift technique,
Right.
that's right.
And that dead drift, that was the first time I've ever used that, and it's proven successful this trip like crazy.
Oh, you bet.
I know I've done a little bit of steelhead in my past, and you know, the dead drift, like you're saying there, is much more productive, I find, than floating where you'd normally have the bait or your presentation bumping off the bottom and your float's tippy. You really never know for sure how many bumps from the fish you're getting. But with Ron's little technique of a dead drift, we have the weight directly under the float, and then the line goes down, and the bait just kind of floats freely in the water, and it simulates just like open bait in the water, and the fish pick it right up on it. As you can see, productive. Really nice.
My father's influence. You want to present exactly as if you threw some roe, or if you're using roe or roe lookalike in the water. That's the presentation that you want.
Right.
Gibbs designed floats to fish the water and to present in a dead drift, and it's working today.
Ron, let's just touch on a little bit about your father. We talked about before about how your father was basically one of the main reasons behind the naming of the Kitimat spoon.
That's right. That's right.
Tell us a little bit about that, Ron.
Well, he hooked up with one of the founders of Gibbs. They hadn't even named the lure yet, and they caught some fish. They had a few cocktails, and yeah, and they didn't really know what to name it, so they eventually evolved to calling it the Kitimat spoon. My mom, it was in the store before. My mom has a plaque that Gibbs was kind enough to give to my mom, and actually Sid Pallister from Gibbs presented to our store, that has an insignia that recognizes one of the initial starts to the Gibbs company, or the Kitimat spoon.
Right on.
So yeah, and he's evolved, helped us evolve a float that fishes for steelhead. The Kitimat's a productive lure. We're just about getting ready here.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, all the homework that all the people have done in this great industry has really paid off.
Yeah, and you know, the dead drift technique is just not my...
No.
It's my father's, the guys that he's fished with. There's some really good fishermen there, guys I fished with, Darryl Little, etc. This is a nice fish, yeah.
Well, that's great, because it makes you feel good fishing with heritage right here, folks.
You bet.
Okay, you're getting close here, Ron. I'm going to go down. That's just going. Yeah, it is too, yeah, it is.
The heck just pops right out. We're barbless.
Nice.
Actually, that's a pretty good regulation now, right?
Yeah, barbless. You don't really lose a whole lot more fish because of it, and it sure increases the mortality of the fish. Let's get a picture, Ron.
Okay.
Got her?
Got some legs here.
All right.
Oh. Got it there. Okay, I'll just put it back in the water here.
Okay.
You ready there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks, buddy.
Sure. Nice, beautiful dots. There it is, eh, folks? The typical rainbow trout coloration.
Let's
Let's get it
a
back.
little deeper.
Oh, perfect now. The sun's coming out. Look at that.
Awesome.
Oh. Really right on.
Gotta love it.
Can't get any better than that.
Gotta love it.
Unbelievable.
You
Good
bet.
fish, buddy.
Yeah.
Right on. Hey, here's a little bit more of what you'll expect to see fishing with the Yellowhead guys.
All right, folks, Glen's got a fish on. Yep. Try not to walk in the water.
Oh, look at that.
Wow, I burnt my thumb.
Whoa. Those calculators are really nice reels too, eh?
Big
How
clutch.
good they are, right?
Clutch. Oh, man, this guy's taking it easy.
Oh, yeah. It's right up.
Oh, it broke the line. That's got some weight to that fish, bud. But boy, what a tough fish. That'll go 15, Ron.
Over here, we're barbers.
Lovely fish. Isn't that?
I thought it was a buck.
Oh, yeah, I
Buck. Put it in the current. Okay, I'm just going to pull
hold her out in 2 seconds. There she is. A little bit of color.
Thanks, Barkley.
Isn't that beautiful?
Okay.
Yellowhead guides. This is the guy to hook up with. 2 great, incredible people. Be right back after this.
Scott Brothers Fishing Adventures is sponsored in part by Abu Garcia for life. Berkeley, catch more fish. Fenwick, feel the action. Gibbs, quality Canadian tackle since 1908. Shimano, technology you can feel. Storm Lures, take the big ones by storm. Home Hardware, we're making smiles. Osprey, waders and float tubes. Sage, the world's premium fly rod. Scientific Anglers, focused on function. Normark, the tradition continues. Sports Max, the fastest house on the ice. Blue Fox, fish smart. Rapella, the original Finnish minnow. Need Enterprises, your recreation specialists. Gamakatsu, the world's finest hooks.
Well, thanks for joining us again this week for another Scott Brothers Fishing Adventure. I'd like to thank my great guest, Ron Wakita of City Center Hardware of Kitimat. Unbelievable fishing buddy. I'm blown away. I just can't believe it. You know, we missed a lot of fish. We capitalized on a few, but overall, unbelievable fish.
You bet. It was a pleasure fishing with you as well, and it was definitely a pleasure fishing with
Yeah,
Barkley.
and Barkley here, Yellowhead Guides from Kitimat. Whenever you're in the area, this is the man to talk to. Barkley, your phone number? Yeah, give me a call, 632-3069, right here in Kitimat. Listen, viewers, thanks for joining us once again. Don't forget, this is your playground. Let's respect it and keep it clean. Hey, we'll see you next week for more Scott Brothers Fishing Adventures. The crew of the Scott Brothers Fishing Adventures stayed at the City Center Motel in Kitimat. That's 1-800-663-3391. You think things are bad now, folks? Just really see the drift boat going by. Hey!
Well, there's another boat behind us that we
Yeah.
got launched.